Come on, come on.
Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight we're talking about, can credit save you, ladies and gentlemen? Is this sound investment strategy? Why? Because we're trying to build wealth. Can you save your way to wealth? I'll just stop it right now. No, you can't. You need your money to work for you, but we're going to get into it because you're definitely going to need credit. Is it good advice to get into debt to buy assets? Is it good advice to get into debt, period? Let's talk about this tonight and much more on the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream, where it's members only that can be in the chat room. Everybody else, you can watch, you can listen, you can get your pen, pad, and paper ready. But once again, on Wednesday night, only members with the icon can be in the chat room. And I must say, I'm sorry for arriving way late tonight, but it could not be avoided. You know, that multi-million-dollar project that I'm working on, well, we had to have conversation this evening. So things are going to come to a head in the morning, tomorrow sometime. That's going to get to the powers that be. And I should know an answer, hopefully within 24 to 48 hours, if we're going to be in the stratosphere for the SSN Nation takeover. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much once again for being here and coming to hang out with me this evening along with the SSN Nation, because once again, I am way late tonight. Conversation was needed, unfortunately, but the show must always go on. So you guys know I'm showing up. It's going to happen. It's going to go down because we need to help everybody out here, because credit, if you need to boost your credit, if you need to improve your credit, down below in the description box, let's just start it off straight. Get your smart credit monitoring system, the best one on the planet so far, because you have all three bureaus being monitored. You also have software included that helps you go by the day that you pay to increase your credit score. That's awesome. It also has identity fraud for you and everyone at your household, even though only one person could be signed up, but everybody at your household, in case of identity fraud, you are protected. And not only do you have the three credit bureaus, you have the hiring index, the FICO for auto scores. Now, I'm not saying buy liabilities with your credit, but if you want to improve your credit, you have everything at your disposal. You have letters in the back office that they help send to creditors if you have any sort of dispute with the creditors, not with the credit bureaus, but with the creditors. And how much does it cost? SSN Nation members, you have special pricing. The link is down below for smart credit. And if you want to try to build your credit, then there's national credit below that. So just make yourself comfortable, sit back and relax, because the stock market has started to fall down. Why? Just think of it as people taking profits, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you have to remember. All right, let me see who's in the house tonight. We're gonna have the guys who are here. This man, known as Mr. Cool, is here. aka Mr. Cool. He is named Laverne Penix. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday Night Live Stream with that icon next to your name. I humbly appreciate that. And he says his tagline tonight, hello, SSN Nation. I hope everyone is doing well. I received the notification and saw the trailer. Thank you so much for that. Everybody who can get in tonight, hey, you have to be a member of the channel like Mr. Cool here with the icon. Otherwise, you're going to have to watch. On Monday and Friday nights, chat rooms open to everybody. Also, George's Charles, another investor, member of the channel, is in the house with that icon next to his name, which I greatly appreciate. Welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline, hello all. I smell money here, especially in the stock market. Exactly. Tomorrow we should boom. Hey, I don't know what tomorrow's going to be, but I do know this. I like it when it comes down. Why? Because traditionally the price is going to go back up for the big stocks. Why? Because what you may not understand is that the fact of the matter is shrinkflation is going on now. How do you increase profits and get your stock price to go up? What you do is something that used to be 16 ounces, you pre-package into 14 or 13 ounces and charge the same price. Put in less, charge the same price. The package is barely a little smaller. So people say, well, just a little, no worries, I'll still pay the same amount. Meanwhile, they are making profits increase. Not only that, when you're in business, you have the money in today's money. Who cares about something that was $20 5 years ago? Because that thing that was $20 5 years ago now costs $35. If you're in business, you get to charge $35 so you don't lose any profit. You still get to make your same profits, if not more, by invoking shrinkflation. So can credit save you? Well, I'm all ears if somebody thinks that credit is going to save them, because what most people fail to realize is that that's a liability. You owe it back. So if you owe the debt back, you're out here buying cars, out here buying homes, you know what? You have to work for it, right? It's pretty simple. And if you're not going to work for it, then where else are you going to get the money from? That's a liability. That means you should have some assets sitting by, so then that way you don't actually have to work for it. Assets help pay for where you live. Assets help pay for those cars. Your credit can save you if you use it wisely. So some people are like, my credit's messed up. My max to my cards, my credit's dropping. Of course, I suggest you get Smart Credit down below. Go check it out. Sign up. It will help improve your credit score just simply by monitoring it. All right. So keep that in mind. Victor Marrero, he's in the house tonight. Soon to be retiree, has done it all the right way. Worked maybe even 2 retirement incomes, bought rental property, gonna be in business already, because once you buy rental property and then you turn it into a short-term rental or long-term rental, that is business, ladies and gentlemen. And also just what I was talking about, things that we charged 3 years ago in Scottsdale, in Las Vegas, during the jazz festivals in New Orleans, $299 to $329 per night for our 2-bedroom units. But now, 3 years later, not a 2 in front of it, but $599, $629, $649. And again, you're in business. We get the increase. If you have liabilities, you don't get an increase. You can't just increase the price. You are losing money. So credit can't save you unless you're using it to buy assets that have revenue or profits coming to you. Victor Marrero, again, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to his name, which I appreciate as well. And he brings his tagline, hello all, let's do this. And that's what he's saying. He did the damn thing. He's been doing it, and he's about to reap the rewards as he's going to be traveling all over the world, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you some footage. I hope he has that drone, bringing you some footage from around the world. And he's going to go, I wish you were here. That's all he's going to say. And then one of these times he's going to go, hey, guys, I'm over here. Come on down. And then we're going to have a few people over here that's going to say, okay, we're coming on the flight's over. All right. Victor Morrell says credit is like stock leverage. If you know how to use it, it can be extremely powerful to compound your income. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what he's saying. He's saying how you use the credit to compound your income. That's what we talk about here. If you're going to use credit, use it wisely to buy assets, leverage things that you make the money work while you're sleeping. That is the key right there. Thank you so much for bringing it up, Victor Morrell. That is exactly it. Now, Muha Vernon, what is happening? Peace, and blessings. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he says it's no longer about why. It's what's the reason. What's the reason we do what we do? Hey, Muhan, Vernon, exactly, man. Exactly. That is the thing. What is your reason? And what's the reason why? I like that thought process. I got to admit, thank you for mentioning that, because that thought process right there, that explains a lot. Because there are those, the top 10 percenters say, you know what I'm doing with my leftover money? This right here. What am I doing with just going out here willy-nilly? You're wasting it more than likely. And again, the numbers don't lie. So everybody can walk by me and act all hot like, hey, I make enough and all that in your face. But when you know 60%, 65% of the United States population, 6 out of 10 people that walk by you is living paycheck to paycheck. See, that's the thing. What's their reason why? The top 10% own so much wealth. The bottom 90% are nowhere near. And there's a different mindset. And ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. You guys who've been here in the SSN Nation for the last 5 years, you guys hopefully have that new mindset. CEO, you can't see the bottom of my life. That's right. Not of something else, of my life. I have a situation right now where I talk to friends who work for other businesses. And here's what happens, which I find very fascinating. They get pressured by their bosses, and their bosses say, hey, you have to produce X amount. We expect you, you have ownership of this part of the company. And it translates in their head when they hear these words, ownership, it translates in their head, somehow they own the company as an employee. They don't work like at one time Hertz was somewhat owned by the workers or something. I don't know how that works, but nonetheless, they think by using that terminology, you have your section, you own that. You just report to us, but you're running it. Anything that happens, you're responsible. And I'm sitting there like, that's very interesting concept. You're hearing it in your ears. And then when I hear things like, hey, when's the last time you took a day off? Oh, man, I got to worry about my company. And I'm like, what did you just say? You do realize you're an employee, right? What do you mean, my company? I'm like, hold on a second. I don't like this terminology you just used. And I don't like this working 10 hours a day for like weeks at a time because you're thinking it's your company. You do have sick days. You do have vacation days. Why aren't you taking these days off? Oh, because other people are calling off. Wait, what? Wait, you have sick days and you have holidays. And you're using this word, my company, when you own nothing. You work there. Soon as they fired you, they're going to have somebody next day replace you. What do you mean, my company? You're acting like it's yours. They're telling you it's like it's yours, but it's not. So anyhow, that is not sound investment strategy. Just saying. If you want your own company, you should actually do it. Don't let somebody else fool you into believing that their company somehow is your company, and then you're the one working 12 hours a day. That makes zero sense to me, but that's you. If you want to play the boss, fine. All right. But I'm just saying, why not just be the boss if you're willing to work 12 hours a day and not take off any holidays, not use your sick days, not use your holidays and all that nonsense? All I'm saying is this has nothing to do with credit, but this has everything to do with the quality of life, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And Victor Morell's about to be able to go hang out and do whatever he wants after putting in work for X amount of years. All right. I hope you guys bought some NVIDIA over the last 3 days. Earnings came out after market closing today and exceeded expectations by 11%. I dropped 2 G's on it today, and I'm doing the salsa dance. Wow. Unfortunately, I do not have exposure in that way for NVIDIA, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm on the little brother side, AMD. Okay. Yeah, it dropped 20% today. But then after hours, well, it got back to 20% and then some. So that is pretty awesome. Got back not 20. It dropped 2.85%, but after hours, it went back up 7.48%. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, after hours. That's why you need that Robinhood and Webull link down below, right? In the description box. I'm going to put it in the chat room because guess what? It's not in the description box right now. So I'm going to add it. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. People are staying on top of what they need to invest in because credit only gets you in debt. That is it. We've talked about credit in the past, but that was to improve your credit score. Once you have your credit score improved, you're not supposed to be buying liabilities. That's the key, right? So this here NVIDIA is stocks. So what do we want? We want you to have a brokerage account. Why a brokerage account? Well, because your brokerage account, the more you have in it, the better you will be in the long run, because Victor Marrero actually mentioned, I have Robinhood in the chat box, so you guys can actually download if you haven't yet. That's somewhat of a brokerage account. Then I'll add the Webull. And in fact, that's kind of messed up because I normally not going to be able to add both at the same time, but we'll see. You'll have the Webull here and Wealthfront and everything else. Will that all fit on one? If not, you're going to have to go to the description box down below. All right. Just keep that in mind. Let's go back to it. Let's see here. Oh, good. I'm glad. Now, other news, again, credit-wise, there's also national credit down below if you want to try and improve your credit score. So there's 2 things that you can do down below in the description box. And the last thing you can do is if you're interested in crypto, the only thing I have to say is go get your unstoppable domain. That's like .com, except in this case, it's .crypto, it's .x, it's .nft, it's .Bitcoin wallet. It's that type of thing. You can get your own name, your own business name. This way, you can leverage yourself later in case crypto does turn out to be regulated by the United States government and becomes a big thing. You'll already have something that is not an alphanumeric code, and you can just tell people, hey, you want to send me Bitcoin, Ethereum, doesn't matter what the coins are, you can send it to me. Polygon, whatever it is. You can just say ericbird.crypto. Your name.crypto, ssnlifestyle.crypto, stopstrugglingnow.crypto, stopstrugglingnow.nft, right? That's a lot easier. No QR code needed, nothing needed. ssnnation.crypto. Simple. Money comes, and it doesn't matter as long as it's one of the top 320 crypto tokens, coins, then it comes into your account. A little bit of privacy, by the way. And also on the .cryptos, it's on the blockchain. It's minted. So therefore, you can create websites, not big time websites yet. Wait for the future for that. But in the future, big time websites, and you know what that means? There will be no such thing as shadow banning. Why do I say that? A lot of people don't know what I mean. What I mean by this is there will be nobody being able to block your website, block your social media. Whatever you put out can't be blocked by an ISP. So again, it'll be open, your website open, everything available. That's what's going on. So just keep that in mind. So now you free yourself. Can you imagine getting payments sent to your wallet and being able to run your business or your website, and now it can't be taken down? I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's why you get Unstoppable Domain for $20, $10, and it's not an annual fee, one-time fee. Then mint it for free right now. So that's it. If it costs you $20 or $10 or $5, occasionally have specials for these domains, these Unstoppable Domains, then you can grab them up. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think of everything going on right now, wars around the world. Are you thinking that you're going to be safe? You want to have options. You want to be able to say, hey, what happens if there's no dollar? Or there's a situation where world currency is not USA anymore. That would be bad. So imagine what could happen. Imagine not being able to get money out, like, you know, people in China or something, having money just taken out of your account because you jaywalked or ran a red light. Yeah, we saw you. We have you on camera. We're just taking the money out of your account. Oh, you wanted to withdraw 20,000. I'm sorry. We're not allowing it. All right. It's already happening in America in a different way. If I walk down and say I need 25,000, oh, wait, what do you need this for? Who cares? Right. I mean, it's insulting. What do you mean? What's the problem? Oh, wait, you got to make an appointment. Come back in a few days. Then we'll get the 25K for you. I mean, this is like ludicrous stuff. Just a variation. What's going to happen one day when they say, I'm sorry, you can't take nothing out today? It could happen. So that means you need something in another country, maybe. You need something in a safe deposit box, but I wouldn't even recommend that. You better keep that duffel bag of cash at home. Some of you may be foolish enough to put it in these so-called vaults. Why don't you just Google how many vaults have been raided by the federal government? And they have a warrant to search one or two people's vaults. But what they do is they take everybody's and then tell you to come claim it. And how can you prove that it's yours when it's in your safe deposit box? But now you got to prove that it's yours. Is that crazy or what? But again, this is what it's coming to out here, ladies and gentlemen. You live in a third world country. You just don't know it yet. So protect yourself. Credit is one of those that you can protect yourself. Why? Because whenever there is a problem, if you have a great credit score, you can always get money. Now that you can't deny. That's one of the bonuses of having a great credit score. Personally, if you want to go one step further, then your business should acquire some credit. And now you have double edges. So when anything hits the fan, as long as you have credit lines, then you can get some money. But if you do, remember there's always an IOU. And who wants that IOU, ladies and gentlemen? That IOU could be hefty. All right. We don't want that. We want you to have profits. Joe Nay, another investor's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream, where he has the icon next to his name. And he says, what's good, SSN fam? It's all good up in here. I was a little bit late, but I thank everybody for joining me. And how is everybody? I'm here. I'm keeping it 100. And you know what that means. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. All right. There's nothing wrong with AMD either. Exactly. I also invested in this one today. I also hit QQQSPYIWM. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, he just said IWM. We haven't talked about IWM enough. Victor Marrero's on it. He's been like a student of the game. He says, you know what? Ever since he said, I'm not going to mess with crypto, I'm going to start doing my wheel strategy and options trading, he's on a tear with the stock market. I mean, it's incredible. IWM, SMH, because I know they're all up tomorrow. He's right about that. I have a feeling it's Friday, and all it needs is the top big boys, 5, 6, 7 stocks to rise, and then everything rises. All right, Joe Nay, I got the notification and smash that like button. That's only 3 people tonight that said it. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Everybody, smash that like button, share the video. Even though you're not a member of the channel, you can't get in the chat room, but you can watch. You can share the video. You can tell everybody else what's going on. All right, now let's get into this. Can your credit save you? It's a yes and it's a no answer. It's a gray area. Depends on how you use your credit if it can save you. It can also bury you. And that's why a lot of people right now, 65% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck because all-time record high credit card debt alone, all-time record high mortgage loans, all-time record high with regard to debt is now. You know how much that's going to cost? 10%, 15%, 20%, and higher in some cases. How are you going to pay billions of dollars back when it's 20%? When it's 25%? Imagine 100 billion. And then most people have a 25% interest rate, and that means $25 billion is in interest only. That doesn't even pay down the principal. That is a steep road to climb. So again, your credit can save you if you use it right to buy assets, but it is sound strategy if you use it right. And once again, Victor Morel tapped on something. He's investing in the stock market. And ultimately, you could do what Elon Musk has done. He borrowed against his Tesla stock because it had a value. Unfortunately, it's dropped. But he invests, he got loans against it. Hundreds of millions of dollars. That's a debt. Now, he has to pay it back. Right? So think about it. As long as he borrowed against it and the price stays within a certain range, he's fine. It's almost semi-free money. You got to pay a little interest, but it's semi-free money. But imagine if you don't buy asset that pays you. So I'll go with Elon Musk's latest fiasco because he's always been in the business of creating. The business of creating allows you to have a value higher than just your business entity that just existed already. So he's always had the benefit of the doubt to say, okay, we know what he does with the rockets. We know what he does with Tesla. So therefore, we're going to give you a valuation that's probably higher than what it deserves, but you have no income, but we're going to give you a higher valuation. But in the X game that he played, that company already was established. He can't just go trade off of his name. He can't trade off of I'm going to be an innovator because there's no innovation. Social media already exists. So now he has to play the game the old-fashioned way, which he's not familiar with. Let's just face it. He doesn't have like brick and mortars. He's always been an engineer. Well, I shouldn't use the word engineer because he's not. But all I'm saying is he's always been an innovator. So that is why the X has a harder time as under his control, because now he has to live within the parameters of, wait a minute, our company only makes X amount of dollars. It's not valued at this number. It's valued at 10% less than what I bought it for, pretty much. How do you climb out of it? He can't. Why? Because he's going to have to use debt to get out of something that's not giving him enough revenues, profit. So therein lies a problem why credit could hurt you, because the asset doesn't generate the necessary profits. That's why credit works, just like it worked for him to acquire Twitter. But in the long run, he has an IOU. And so as long as that thing's not producing the profits it needs to produce, he can't pay it back. That is not good credit. You need something on credit that you know for a fact you get a return on investment. All right. So keep those things in mind. That's what we talk about here. We got the whole gamut, ladies and gentlemen. Like I always say, we're not the one trick pony. We want OCs to win. That's ordinary citizens. That's you. All right. We want you to be superstars out here, and you can do it. It doesn't need to start off huge like a lot of people think. All right. A lot of people think I need 10,000. I need 20,000. I need 100,000. Why don't you just start with $100 every week? $100 every 2 weeks. It'll add up. At the end of a year, you might have only $2,000, but that $2,000, depending on what you put it in, whether it was dividend stocks or whether it was appreciating stocks or growth stocks, then it might be worth $2,800, $2,600. Do that 2 years in a row. You might not think that's a lot, but a lot of people right now would wish they had 5,600, $7,000 after 2 years sitting somewhere, and potential growth and getting dividends. Like, by the way, PSEC just dropped some dividends, ladies and gentlemen. Just letting you know. Whoever has P is in Paul, S is in Sam, E is in Eric, C is in Charles. Just saying. So we get our nice little 14, 15%. I think it's 15, actually. Why is it 15? Because 3 years ago, it was 15% return. That's the money I put in at that point. So I'm earning 15% on mine, 15.2 as I recall. I'm loving it every year. Sure, S&P 500 went 24% last year. I don't care. I've been getting my 15% for the last 3 years. So I'm just saying it's 15.2 or 15.7, actually, now that I'm remembering. But anyhow, that's what we go by. Right now, you have your choices. Like we always talk about ARR, ORC, A, G, and C, right? The standards, they're real estate investment trust. If you can get 14.3, 16.8 for the money you put in now, and that's generating the same dividend for the rest of time, as long as they keep generating that same revenue or a higher revenue number, you win at 16.8. You outpace inflation in the long run. And if you think you can win at 9%, then you're damn sure going to be able to win at 16 over 10 years or 20 years, right? So think about that. So we will see how you guys figure this out, because this year you're going to have one hell of a ride. Mortgage rates have increased. This is where the big credit ticket item is. People are willing to go up to 50% of their paycheck to buy a house that's going to cost you money. Soon as you move in, you're thinking of ways to, let me redecorate over here. Let me rearrange this over here. I don't really like this. You know what? Why don't we spend some more money and redo this section right here? But we got to go get some furniture. Oh, wait, have you been down to the furniture store lately? We got to get some furniture. Whoa, I don't know about you guys, but have you been to the furniture store lately? Seriously. Because it's outrageous. Sofas, the old sofa and love seats, and you're looking at tags. I haven't been to the furniture store. All I'm saying is I've heard people are like, a sofa is like $1,500. I'm just like, how big? And they're just like a regular sofa. I'm like, oh my God, this is getting outrageous. So I used to tell the story, and I'll tell the story now. Again, when I first started this, I lived in a certain high-end location. And the weirdest and funniest thing that a lot of you may have heard this before, the weirdest thing was people would invite us over to their house. And when we get to the house, now remember, we're talking about homes that are generally, well, the range was 3,700 to 4,800 in our immediate neighborhood. That was the range size house. So it was always very interesting when I went to my neighbor's house. You know what's in their house? Nothing. Hardly nothing. I don't mean literally nothing. I just mean a big ass couch, one of those overgrown leather couches with the feet come up and the coffee thing, or the water holders are there, cup holders are there, and another like sofa sleeper and a little garbage coffee table. Now, I'm not really, aficionado on furniture and things like that. But what I do know is if you have $1 million house, I'm not expecting you to have furniture that does not match. But the problem is when you actually have a big house and you go out and have to buy furniture, next thing you know, you're just like, wait a minute, this doesn't fit this room. Now I got to go buy this just to make it look like it fits. And that stuff ain't cheap. We're talking about $2,500, $3,000. Then you're like, oh, I got to have this coolest fridge because everybody has that $8,000, $5,000 fridge. So I got to get one too. We got to join the Joneses. So I got to slide my card off and go get one of those. So now they join the Joneses for that. And meanwhile, you got another 4 or 5 rooms to furnish, meaning bedding. Have you guys went down and get bedding? I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Tempur-Pedic guy. You ain't leaving that joint under $1,500. Let's get real. So now my people that live next door and around the corners and stuff, they don't have Tempur-Pedics. They have the regular, where do I get that bed down at the furniture mart or whatever, that's $400, $300, cheap ass crap. So all this stuff adds up. You live in this wonderful neighborhood, have the trappings, got the cars out front, the $100,000 cars, but it's all on credit. It's not saving you. Doesn't get to save you. You still have to go to work. So early on, I used to come out of my house 1 o'clock in the day, 12 o'clock in the day, 3 o'clock in the day, 4 o'clock in the day. And you guys used to know I do 360s. I'd be like, where is everybody? You live in all these rich neighborhoods. Where is everybody? I wonder where they're at. You guys can see the park. Who's at the park? Nobody. Me. You guys. Where is everybody? Guess what? They're at work. Why? Because they don't all have businesses. They actually work for other people. Sure, they might make $150,000 a year, both of them. But guess what? They're not home. And remember the story I'm telling you, hey, it's your business. We're letting you make the decisions until you're not. You're the one running this. It's like your own thing. Yeah, they're working 12 hours a day, driving an hour and a half to go get that hard-earned money, living in nice places, but they're not even home. The whole neighborhood's empty. It's like my own little private park. So go back and look at it 5 years ago, and you guys will see a few videos when I'm walking around. Nobody's there. But you see all the big houses, but nobody's there because they're at work. All right? The only people that was home was the ambassador that lived in our neighborhood. He was an ambassador for the United States. He was home. But again, he was 70 some years old. So he's going to be home, right? He was home with his wife. He'd come down and walk his dogs. But that's it. That's the only guy I would ever see in the afternoon or any evening time or anything. It's crazy. So again, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you're spending your money on, because ultimately you need something to pay for where you live. You don't want to buy something on credit, then turn around and realize you're paying 50 to 60% of your paycheck or your income to live somewhere, because now you have no money left over to actually invest and make it work for you. So again, we always get around to reverse that type of thinking. If you can go out here and you say, hey, I want to live in a nice neighborhood, I'm willing to spend $500,000. That's great. But think about spending $500,000 on 2-plex, 3-plex, 4-plex. Go down and get a 3.5% loan from FHA. 4% is what I always say. That's the down payment. Live in that unit for a year, then rent out the fourth, have them pay for it. You're off to the races versus the other way around. Have the house. Guess what? You can't do that now. You've blocked yourself. Congratulations. Only the rich guys get to take over. That's why there's a top 10%, because you've already blocked yourself. And how many people block themselves? Oh, millions a year. Because you're spending 40, 50% of your paycheck on where you live. So you can't go down here and get a multifamily 2-plex, 3-plex, 4-plex. You're blocked. So the rich get to snap them up, and then the rich get richer. Build wealth, ladies and gentlemen, with your credit. All right? So once again, I'm sorry I'm late this evening, but this is what I am actually doing right now. In fact, I told you guys already, some of you may not be familiar, may be new here, but smash that like button, please. We are shadow banned, so share the videos, all right? Because they don't like to hear what I'm saying. You're an ordinary citizen. Everybody's thinking, Eric, you just gave us a daunting task, a daunting situation. We can't get out of this. We're on a hamster wheel. You are on a hamster wheel, but guess what? You have a lifeline. Ordinary citizens, again, I'm going to say this very clearly once again. I was late this evening. Reason why, I've been telling you about this project that I've been working on. It's the takeover, SSN Nation Takeover 2024, Dominican Republic style. I put together a package. Do you think I have $5 million? I don't. You think I have 7 million? I don't. So I can't fund this package. So now I'm made this package. It took me 3 weeks, longer than I anticipated. But it's because some things dropped in my lap after I started putting together, and people were like trying to give me stuff and giving me great deals. Do you know about this? Do you know about that's available? I'm like, no, you just now told me. Let's see how I can package this up. So it took me extra time. Went from 3 things to 6. But where are we going to get the money from? Well, luckily, you have to know money guys, right? Investors who would say, I want 11%. I want 10%. I want 13%. And so right now, I had heads up. The guy's talking kind of crazy, 13%. Interest only, by the way. So if we do 13%, let's just use some simple numbers. Let me do simple numbers so you understand, can credit save you? Here's how credit saves you. You don't need any, first of all. Second of all, you put a package together. Let's just use numbers. I'm not going to use my numbers, but I'll give you an example. $5 million you need, right? You go, Eric, I don't know anybody like that. I say, great. I have opportunity for you. If you have something that you want to put together, send me an email at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. And if it makes sense, you won't need a down payment. You won't need any money. You won't need 25% down, 20% down. You won't need to put any skin in the game. You'll have an investor, but it has to make sense, right? You have to figure out a way how you're going to pay back the investor, and it better make sense other than hope and prayers. All right. You have to show how you make revenue, how it makes money if you're trying to go from zero. If it's making money already, that's all the better. Because once it's making money, then you can say, hey, I need $2 million and it makes $1 million a year. Well, actually, nobody would sell that because that's 50%. But let's just say 500,000 per year, right? And the guy says, I need $2.5 million to buy it. Okay. And so you're thinking traditionally, I'll just stick with 2 million. That makes it easier. Traditionally, you might have to come up with $400,000 to $500,000 if you try to go down to a bank, and then they're going to say, let me see your credit. Then you're going to find out, hey, man, you owe 50% of your wages goes to the, I'm sorry, we can't give you no loan for $500,000. Okay. But the other way is the keys to the kingdom that you don't need credit and you can still be saved is if you say, hey, this thing makes $500,000. And then the guy says, well, guess what? I'm going to give you an interest-only loan at 11%. $220,000 is what you're going to owe. And everybody's going to agree you had $300,000 left over. The guy's going to feel safe. He'll say, great, I'll do this deal. I want 11%. So you got to pay him about what, $190,000 per month. At the end of 1 year, you should have raised up the rents or the cost of whatever that is. So then that way it's worth more because what you're going to do is refi, right? If you have the right mortgage guys, they'll use it as a refi because you're making a monthly payment every month. And they'll sit there and go, wait a minute, he's been paying $19,000 per month every month from this. And he just wants 3 million. No, he just wants 2.5 million. So you want 500,000 back, which is great. And you have the money to pay for it. You're off to the races. You own it free and clear. Bye-bye. And for that, how much do I get out of it? Nothing. Just another star on the wall. You win. I don't charge people, by the way. All right. There's none of that send me money up front. I'll get you this, that, and the other, that BS. That's just a scammery. All right. If you actually have a package, they can just give it to somebody. The person can say, yeah, yes or no. Next person can say yes or no. One person goes, I believe in this project. It's cool. I'll give the money. I want 12% though. Can the project sustain 12? Yeah, it can. But it's up to you at that point. We're no gatekeepers here, ladies and gentlemen. We will actually help you if you have something, but it can't be okie dokie nonsense. It actually has to be something that looks and these guys are how powered, so they have to look at it and be like, yes, that's doable. You sit through in some pie in the sky nonsense, they'll be like, man, why waste my time with this? I'm not looking at this. I want my 11, 12, 13, 14, in some cases 15% return, because that's going to be safe to them. Why? Because it's backed by the business, or it's backed by the land, or it's backed by whatever's there. So even if they lose, they don't want to liquidate you in reality. So they rather have the money. They don't want to go through liquidation procedures. They just want the money. So that's why they make sure it makes money. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Hit me up. Support at StopStrugglingNow.com if you have anything. So now let's get down to ours. SSN Lifestyle presents Punta Cana Music Festival. Flyers coming out. Tickets coming on sale online. Today's Wednesday. Unfortunately, the next 2 days, I might be in meetings. And I don't know if I'm going to get the guys to put up something for ticket sales, which has not happened yet. But we have some other things in the background, and now I know why. Because my guys, who is going to be doing this stuff, they have a deadline for Saturday with the federal government. The federal government overrides what I need done, unfortunately. And I need ticket sales up because we're going to have some badass artists coming. All right. I got some deals with a few artists that, like I said, I can't say yet, but I can't commit either until I hear back from a few people by Friday. But either way, I'm hoping to have ticket sales up on Friday for May 9th through the 12th Music Festival, otherwise known as the Punta Cana Music Festival. Jazz, R&B, Latin, soul. It's going to be off the chart. Everyone welcome. On the beach, ladies and gentlemen, will be the performances, and you're going to have a blast. Stone cold blast. Like you've never had a blast before, I believe. It's going to be just as good as Art Good's jazz tracks at Catalina. Just as good. Like I'm saying, I'll give you one little snippet right now. I know Sean Rayford's going to be on Thursday night, the 9th. He's going to be at the beach. We're going to have a nice little bonfire. We're going to have some drinks flowing. And he's going to be doing his solo artist act on the beach in Punta Cana. It's one for the movies, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I'm trying to get somebody to film this whole thing. So it's going to be on Netflix and everything else. Oh, yeah, we're working big time. I'm back. All right. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. They should have never challenged me come out of retirement. I said, okay, you want me to come out of retirement? Then we're going to try and do big, big things. So we're going there, ladies and gentlemen. And oh, yeah, you guys know. Come on. Let's just talk facts. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play this right here. I'm going to play something. Let's go with this one right here. Uh-oh. Hold on. Replay. Come on, come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of retirement, just to give you a little preview, notice the little different genres. you too will be in these genres if I have my way. Stay tuned for Friday night live stream. I'm hoping I have an answer on Friday night at 9-10 p.m. If it's SSN Nation takeover in the huge way, a little way, or just trickle way. Because if it goes like I think it will, it would be SSN Nation takeover in a major way. So the reason why I wanted to show a few of those venues is because all those venues, you may have noticed I'm in certain locations. So some of these people are friends of mine that I generally haven't talked to on and off over the years, just a little bit, once a year, twice a year, because I've been in retirement. Now, when I come out of retirement, that means everything's back on the table. So when some of these things, I'm at the Sundance Film Festival. Yeah, I know a few producers. I know some people that make movies. I know some people that do Netflix. I know all these guys that can do something. So you think I'm going to throw something in the DR and not have some TV potential? We're going to have production out there. So all of this stuff that you're thinking about, when you're thinking I'm using my camera to do something, I'm thinking business. I'm not thinking just to show people something. Every little tidbit of something has a value to it for me. So when you're out here being CEO of your life, think about these things when you're going around. Because a lot of times you want to build wealth, you could actually do it. Victor Marrero is about to retire, and he said he's going to get his drone. That leads to other opportunities if he so chooses. Because if he's over in Spain, if he's over in the DR, he's over in Puerto Rico, that is just a simple thing that he's doing can turn into something business-wise. Because once we put something in print, you can actually monetize that forever, at least for a few years, potentially. You can get checks coming in. Just like right now, if I stop, we don't have that many views, right? So smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen, so the YouTube guys know that you're in the house. We don't have that many views per video, but I still get a little check, right? It ain't that big, a couple $100. But the fact of the matter is, if I went a different way, I could actually get more views if I just stuck with one genre. See, we talk about stock, we talk about real estate, we talk about credit, we talk about how to build wealth and then some. We talk about a little crypto, we talk about motivation. I haven't made a motivation video in like 2 months. So it's not along one line. So when I drop videos, it doesn't go into this little corner right here where they go, he's dropping information about this all the time. So we're going to make sure he has a lot of views. I'll drop it over cross spectrum because that's how you build wealth, ladies and gentlemen. Why talk about one thing? We did talk about credit building before. That was heavy. Used to be heavy into that because you needed to build your credit when I first started, because you knew time was going to happen like what's happened over the last 2 or 3 years. Now you need your credit to be better again because you will be able to buy at a lower interest rate for the next boom, or be able to tap in the credit that you need to buy assets. So this is why I started talking about the smart credit, not actually getting into credit. We talked about national credit down below to build your credit. That's fine. But now's the time to pay down your debt because you're going to need your debt to be paid down. Keep that in your mind. Do not let that go because you don't know what the interest rates are going to be moving forward. And you want to have business. All right. This is Wealthy Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Support at stopstrugglingnow.com. You can always hit me up there if you need anything. I haven't been over there in 24, 48 hours, in fact, which, by the way, Miss Smith was sending me something about solar in the DR, and I started researching solar in the DR, and they're actually trying to block it, which is incredible. They're charging people in the DR who has solar in some provinces. They're telling people your bill would be $300. So what are we going to do? We're going to charge you $300 because you're off the grid. I'm just like, what the? I can't believe this corruption going on around the world. It's insane. Just straight up insane. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Where are we going with this from now on? I'm going to make this short tonight because I got to make sure everything, all the numbers are matched up. If you guys want to talk about anything, please do so tonight. I just want to come out and get to the point. Can credit save you? Yes, it can. That's why you need your credit as an asset, meaning it's on tap, meaning you need to be over in the 700s for sure. All right. That way, that gives you leeway. That gives you lower interest rates. That gives you special treatment. If you match that up with a brokerage account, you match that up with a savings account, all of a sudden you have special treatments. Just off that, you keep 5 figures in a bank and you do other transactions. All of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. These guys start loving you. They're like, wait, he has revenues coming in. There's ways that you start building a rapport. That's what you need, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So just think about that. Credit can save you as long as you use it the right way. Buy assets with it, not liabilities. Right. And just to be clear, if I'm going to go down and buy a liability, I'm going to buy something such as a car. When I leave there, does it make me money? Some people are going to go, well, I'm going to be an Uber driver or a Lyft driver or InDrive driver, whatever. No, that doesn't qualify. You're going to have to drive it, right? So that doesn't qualify as an asset. You're going to go buy a house. Why? Well, they go up in value. Well, you're paying for it, actually. I'm just saying, throw in the insurance, throw in the property management. And if you have an HOA, throw that in too. How much are you paying annually? So if that's what you're paying annually and 20 years later, you tell me my house is worth X amount, I guarantee you that you paid that amount. But you didn't save anything. Can't save you. Right? I'm just saying. So that's the thing. Come on now, ladies and gentlemen. So when you go out here and buy a business and do a startup business, like we're doing InstaVid AI, right? Startup. That's a startup. High risk. That is a liability. We put money in. I don't get any return on my money. I can't guarantee I'm going to get a return. So that's a liability. Now, if I get return and we have other people that put money in, we get returns, then guess what happens? Now, all of a sudden, passive returns mean our investment was an asset. But we're not setting up the business, even though I'm involved a little bit, consulting and doing things like that. So I get a few points. But the point of the matter is, it's a liability for investors. Or should we put our money into an existing business like the Shark Tank? So then we have revenues coming in. By the way, InstaVid AI, we're probably going to have a new video coming up next Monday or Tuesday. Wait a minute, what's today? Damn, it's probably going to be Wednesday or Thursday next week. Reason why I'm saying that, if you haven't talked with Oscar yet, I suggest you talk to him soon. We added another partnership, which I think we're not going to announce because he has something that he has to do for the next week. So we're not going to be able to announce it for about 8 days from now. So at that point, once that comes out, that'll be nice. It's a nice partnership. It's a group of people that are speakers, and they got like thousands of people that are involved with the organization. So that's going to be big time. And we've changed the back end for the user and the influencer. They all have back ends. It's coming along nicely. So it's going to be very, very interesting. All right. Now, make sure you smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen, so the YouTube gods once again stop shadow banning us. Subscribe to the channel, click the all notification bell, share the video so other people know. And by the way, some of this is going to be on podcast for everybody on podcast. Make sure you follow, make sure you tell other people to tune in, because you guys, we give it to you real, shaken, stirred. And by the way, we spilt it as well for all those who couldn't make it. All right. So just keep that in mind. Now, if anybody wants anything, or needs anything, let me know. We have a chat room open. It's only open to people who have icons next to their name, like Joe Nay. On Wednesday night, only members with the icon can be in the chat room. On Monday night at 8:50 p.m. On Friday night at 9:10 p.m. Please join us. Hopefully, I have some definitive answer on the SSN Nation takeover. And I just telling you right now, this is not for the faint at heart. All right, you guys have known what I've been talking about for 5 years. Some of you 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months. But the fact of the matter is, you're about to see something that you only see in the newspapers if these guys go yes. You're going to be like, I'll be damned. This guy that's been sitting here talking to us all these years, he's actually doing this. We need to check his background. What's going on? That's all you're going to say. But you guys are going to come along for the ride. And don't forget, I remember OCs all the time, regardless of what happens. And OCs, there's always a spot for you guys, no matter what I'm doing, even if we're talking about $1 million villas. How do you get a part of $1 million villa? Well, then what am I going to do? The only thing I can do. I'm not going to be able to sell most of you $1 million villa, right? But I can sell you something that people are familiar with. Partial use, 1 week, you have a use. I can do that, right? Okay. Simple. Then we got right to use. Like I told you guys, I'll make the unit's going to be right to use. So let me ask you something. What happens if you had a $1 million villa and you have ocean view? How much is that worth? And yes, you can stay there. And I'm like I say, you can buy more than 1 week, but unfortunately, they're going to be like $20, $30, $40,000 or something, right? But you're staying in like it's going to be like 4,000 plus square feet. We're talking mansion style. All right. I think 4,000 square feet pretty much puts you at enough room, but that means you can bring friends, family. It's a destination. And now you don't think you're going to spend 20, 30, 40,000 to get your week. There's only going to be 20 spots open. And some people are going to go, why? Because, well, let's just call it what it is. It's actually going to be my spot. Kind of. When I come, I want it to be available sometime. That's why we're not going to do 48 weeks like a timeshare would do. We're going to only do 20. That's it. Not going to do anymore. Because the rest, we're going to be charging $2,000, $3,000 per night. So if they say yes, this is what's going down. So OCs, you'll still have a spot. You're just not going to have a spot for months and weeks, and you can't buy it unless you're willing to spend $1 million, because these are going to be over 4,000 square feet. Ocean view with something else too. I won't get into it yet because we haven't solidified the deal and the guy hasn't said yes. So we'll figure it out. On Friday, I'm hoping I get an answer. Let's go. Paul Castillo's in the house. Another investor is here, ladies and gentlemen, with the icon next to his name. I appreciate, and he brings his tagline. Good evening, everyone, and welcome Paul Castillo to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he says, I hope all of you are staying warm in this cold weather. Let's do this. That's what we're doing, Paul Castillo. He's one of the investors, ladies and gentlemen, making his hay, trying to get his price down. So when this stuff blows up in the DR, he's positioned himself perfectly, as have several of the members here tonight who are investing in it. In fact, everybody here is investing in DR now that I'm thinking about it. Exactly. Everybody here tonight with the icons invested. Victor Marrero, any updates from any of the DR projects? No, none. I saw a video today with the train project that's supposed to connect Punta Cana with Capital San Domingo, like the one connecting Miami to Orlando. I haven't heard about that, but that is exciting. That is exciting. Why is that exciting? The number one destination is Punta Cana. Now you're going to have people landing at Punta Cana, taking that. I'm hoping it's a high speed, direct. I know they're going to stop at La Romana, but let's just say they're getting down there, and let's just say an hour and a half. I'll just say that. That would be awesome. Now you're going to bridge together people who land at Santo Domingo. And quite frankly, you know what? Flights to Santo Domingo are so damn cheap. It's like you can be in a lot of places and it could be like 199 round trip to Santo Domingo, but it's 399 round trip to Punta Cana Airport. The open skies agreement apparently hasn't taken into effect, or if it has, it's barely doing anything for Punta Cana Airport. If they had the same prices that Santo Domingo Santo Domingo Airport had, then there'd be more visitors to Punta Cana. I'm just saying, straight out. So this is crazy. Now, let's see. Victor Marrero's on top of it. Yeah, that's major right there. I don't even know where they're putting the train. The way they have their present structure, they have land, yes, but I don't know how they're going to run it through. Because I know they're going to want to have a stop at La Romana. And I'm pretty sure they're going to want to have a stop along the way somewhere else. I just don't know where that somewhere else would be. But it would be logical to go La Romana about an hour, hour and a half outside of Punta Cana, and then get into Santo Domingo. But who knows? They might have some other plans. So one stop, an hour and 15 minutes. How long did it take to? I guess an hour and 15 minutes if it's riding at 70, 80 miles per hour, maybe. That'd be pretty cool, right? No, it can't be an hour. It would have to be almost 2 hours now that I'm thinking about it. Unless I don't think it's going to be a bullet train. So we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, we're hoping that gets built rapidly because that would bring in extra tourism from Santo Domingo. And if they expand it around somewhere else, that would be awesome. So it'll be very interesting. Let's see. Victor Morel says he has the stats. Yes, it's supposed to be high speed, taking you from the capital to Punta Cana in 1.5 hours. That's pretty good. They'll have stops at La Romana and San Pedro. There we go. He knows. I knew La Romana is going to be on there because that's an upscale neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. San Pedro, I don't even know where that is. I know where it is in Cali and in Mexico. I just don't know where it is in the DR. That's pretty interesting. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Victor Moreau. That is great news. 1.5 hours to be in. That means people can take day trips between the two locations. That's going to be interesting. Or even night trips, I guess. I mean, if you can leave Santo Domingo at 8 and be in Punta Cana at 9:30, or you can leave Punta Cana at 6 in the morning and be in Santo Domingo at 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning, that is major. That is pretty major. Who would not take that trip? And the interesting part is the bus itself, that bus is what, $10? That was crazy. Santo Domingo, landed at Santo Domingo Airport, cost $34 or $30 to get to the bus station. Punta Cana Express, Bavaro Express, drops you right in Los Corrales, right by La Bruja, all for $10. Didn't have Wi-Fi on the bus though, sadly. But nonetheless, took though, how long did it take? It wasn't an hour and a half. It was 2 hours and a half maybe. But it was cozy. It got there safe and sound. It was beautiful. Drop you off at Blue Mall as well. That's an option. Or it can drop you off in Los Corrales, El Cortocito. Or it can drop you at the bus station in Punta Cana. So that wasn't too bad. So overall, $40. Not bad. $50 for two people because it's $9 a person. $50. Went to Santo Domingo for like $50, $100 airfare one way. It was crazy. Then $50, so $150. I'm in Punta Cana. Meanwhile, it's costing me like $199, $179, $209 to fly at the time to Punta Cana. I was just like, this is crazy. So it's pretty cheap. Here we go. We got a destination, a location. San Pedro is between Santo Domingo and La Romana. Okay, cool. I don't know where that is, but if they're stopping there, it must be a destination where people hang out, right? Otherwise, you're not picking up passengers where people don't hang out. They're just giving you places that you might want to invest right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's how funny this is. All right. So think about it. All right. There we go. Now, anybody else want to discuss anything? Because I'm about to wrap this up. I have some business to do. I just realized as we're talking, I have one other thing. I have a number 7 to add to my puzzle. I forgot about this property that's inside Vistacana. I'm just saying. I forgot about that. It's meaningless really, because it's only about profit wise. It's only $100,000 to $200,000. That's it. See, now I'm saying only. That's a lot of money. Let's face facts. But with what I'm doing, that's like, it's not even on the radar. I'm just going to throw it in because it only requires a $100,000. So you might as well throw it in, and then I turn it into another SSN lifestyle right to use location, and it would be a villa inside Vistacana. You did hear me, a villa inside Vistacana. So I can add that into the equation, and then that turns into something else that I can't talk about right now because it's in a high, well, I actually can talk about it. It's in La Romana area. There's something that's coming there, but that's not on the plan. If they do this thing first, then I'm going to swap in down the road something else. And we're talking about something else because these guys started asking me a question about something, and I don't even, I'll have to talk about it on Friday. If they say yes for the first thing, then I'll tell you what the stupid stuff they talked about next. And it's not stupid. What I mean by it is when people refer to stupid money, that's what I mean by stupid. We're talking about property, land that's 20, 30 million. They're asking me about this, and I'm just like, look, I don't want to talk about that because that's not what we're talking about. It's way less than that, what we're talking about. I said, if you want to do this first, we'll talk about it. If you want to do that, that's your thing. I'm not involved with that because I have no plans for that, even though I can do plans with that. But we need this first. We lock in this first, and we take over first, because only somebody else that has that kind of money is going to come get it. And right now, nobody's going to spend that kind of money. That's why it's still sitting there. But this other stuff we're getting, any ordinary citizen can get some of this stuff. So we need to lock this right now while they're going good. All right. So see you guys on Friday. I hope I'll have some more information. I'm hoping. All right. I'm hoping. So we will see. But once again, just make sure you stay safe out here. And I love you guys. If you ever need anything, you know where to find me. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and sometimes on Thursday, sometimes on Saturday, sometimes you never know when we drop other live streams. That's why you want to sign up for our newsletter. But please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but you guys know that just means when the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's all that means. And so now the guy's coming out of retirement, and we're going to find out how tough it really is out here. Because what I'm getting, I'm thinking it's going to be little resistance for the takeover. That's what I'm getting, because we're going to be different. And as I was telling them tonight, I said, hey, man, how many people in their complex have game rooms? Anybody? Victor Marrero, Joe Nay, Laverne Penix. Just a simple thing. We have sports complexes. We have pools. We have restaurants. We have cafes and bars and fitness centers. But how many people have them pool tables, have the owner's lounge and all that? Think about it. How many? Think about it. Anybody in their project have their own owner's lounge? There's one. Herbe Lux plans on having their own owner's area that has their own pool, their own clubhouse, their own bar, their own restaurant. That's the only one I know of. Panoramas, if you own it, Panorama Lake, Panorama Garden, Panorama Park, Panorama Luxury, you'll be able to use each other's restaurant, bar, and lakes. Now, I don't know if it's open to the general public or not, but that's kind of cool. But again, I'm referring to game rooms. And again, here's the inspiration. I'll show you. In fact, I'm not going to show you tonight. I'll show on Friday. Palomar. You can look it up yourself. Palomar, Beverly Hills. They have their own game room. That's the inspiration. 1,000 square feet. Palomar's is 934 square feet. Why do I know this? I do research. All I'm saying, you can Google it too. I do research because I want to know what space they used for that. Well, good news for me. My plans entail a 4,000 square foot restaurant, bar, fitness center, and owner's lounge. Ours is going to be bigger than Palomar's. So when you see how cool Palomar's looks, imagine an extra, it's only 60 square feet, 65, 66 square feet. But 1,000 square feet is a big space to have pool tables, bars, seating areas, co-working spaces, couches, sofas, hanging out, games, big screen TVs. You know what I'm saying? How many places have that? It's the owner's lounge. Only if you own there can you get in. If you have a right to use, you'll be able to get in. You'll be part of the owner's lounge, right? Only you. Nobody else is coming in. You and your friends, you can come in, right? That's kind of cool, especially when it's a space that is limited. You can order food in there. You can get drinks. There'll be a bartender coming through from the restaurant. So therefore, everything is, you'll have your own bartenders in there. They can come through if you need anything, order drinks, order food, but you don't have to leave. And you're in a nice little quiet, cool ass zone. How many places have that over there right now? Don't let me come, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wrap. We know hospitality. So we'll talk on Friday. Everybody get good vibes. And with all that said, make sure you stay safe. Keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.